Oh, what's up, everybody? It's your girl who is, in fact, Dead Aspie. And I'm sorry I'm not as energetic as usual. That goes into the reasons why you may have seen some of the posts I've done on social media and stuff. Yeah. I still wanted to give you guys some Pride footage like I promised. I had to wait until much later in the day to do that instead of go with my original plans I had because I was not feeling like a functional human. It was disgusting, and I'll go into more detail on that in just a little bit. But I feel better now. I'm slowly going back to what my normal is, at least normal for me, so yay. Just to give you a fair warning, this does talk a little bit about mental health and medications. If that's something that you're uncomfortable with, feel free to not watch this segment. Also, if you're bored with this sort of update talk stuff and you want to just skip right to the footage that I got, that's fine. I won't be offended. Go do that. So to give a little bit of context, as far as this video is gonna get a little bit personal. Not that the previous one wasn't personal, but this is a little bit more personal and something that I'm not entirely open with, except for like a select group of people that I care to talk about this with. But if it's gonna be something I'm gonna talk about with you guys anyway, so I guess I might as well use now to explain what happened, I guess. I don't know. So, for those of you who don't know this about me, which is probably a lot of people that would be watching this, I do deal with issues involving depression and anxiety and other mental health stuff. And after doing a couple years of therapy and being reluctant to take medication, I figured at this point I might as well try it, see what happens. Worst comes to worst, I could stop taking it or taper myself off of it, whatever. And yeah, so about a year ago I started taking Zoloft, or the generic version of it, Citrulline I think it is called. And I started off at a lower dosage, and that did have a little bit of weird effects, but nothing completely unbearable. And I was able to work through it, and eventually my body got used to it, and I was doing fine. And actually, even where I'm at now with Zoloft, it actually is helping me out a lot, so I'm very happy to have made that decision. And yeah, I still go to therapy and do stuff like that, but I mean, it's finding the right combination of things in any mental health thing, and I was very fortunate to find something that works really well the first time. So I'm proud of myself for making that decision, and I'm proud of myself for going through that fantastic journey, I guess, and still am in a way. Now, the reason why I was not so functional is not because of the Zoloft necessarily, but last week I started a new prescription for something else. For context, among depression and some mild, like, generalized anxiety I deal with, I also deal with compulsive skin picking, or I guess the fancy term for it is dermatillomania. So if you're wondering about these spots on my arm, I even got like a couple on my upper arm. I even have maybe some on my face, I don't know. I have a couple like there. If you see like the spots like that, it's because I compulsively pick at scabs, pimples. Basically, it's like I had a pimple popping habit, which was iffy on its own, but, not entirely out of the norm. However, it also got to the point where if I felt like there was still anything there, I still just need to get it out, and sometimes I'd pick and pick and pick and pick to the point where it actually scars. And I've been struggling with that for a long time. And because I was still kind of doing it, and it wasn't really changing much lately, my psychiatrist and we talked about it, and we talked about the possibility of starting naltrexone, which is normally a drug used to treat addictions, but there is apparently some literature that suggests that using it for impulse control behavioral disorders and stuff like that, that it might be helpful. And the way that it was explained, at least from the back and forth we had, was that it stops that impulse from happening, or it takes away that high, I guess, much like you would in an addictive substance. It would be similar in an addictive behavior, if that makes any sense. So yesterday, as of recording this, was day 1 of that medication, and I was nervous about taking that with Zoloft, but I was reassured that it shouldn't cause any adverse effects just because I'm on another medication. However, I don't know if it was that or anything, maybe my brain chemistry or whatever chemistry in my body. It was not okay with the naltrexone. Not at all. The side effects were... So where the side effects of Zoloft that I went through were doable and not that big of a deal, the side effects with the naltrexone were... I felt dizzy, I felt nauseous, I may have dissociated a little bit, it fucked with my motivation to do anything. I felt like total shit, and I was so drowsy and tired I just slept through most of the day, and I was just a fucking train wreck. And even today, I hadn't even taken it, I still felt some of the effects, and my boyfriend and I looked this up. Naltrexone is a drug that you can stop cold turkey without any adverse effects, unlike SSRIs like Zoloft, so I was able to stop it. And slowly throughout today, I became more and more of a functional person. I was able to eat food and take in liquids without worrying that I'm going to puke. And it kind of fucked with my plans to go to Pride today. My original plan was that I was going to meet up with some friends to do a potluck sort of lunch at Washington Square Park, but I was not able to do that, so I had to skip on that. And I also figured if I'm more functional later, maybe I'll go check out what's going on with Pride, and luckily I was able to do that. I came home from there not too long ago. I decided to watch a couple of videos just to wind down a little bit. And yeah, I'm feeling better, but I'm very hesitant to go back to naltrexone. I might call the pharmacy that I picked it up from to ask some questions about it, but as far as I know, I don't plan on staying on it. It was gross. Physically and mentally, it was gross. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Other than that, I have my Pride footage. Yeah. And for anyone who's, thinking of taking medications on their own, you probably hear, a lot of horror stories about it, which I did too, and that's part of the reason why I was reluctant to start it for a long time. I say it depends on your chemistry. Everyone's going to react to different medications differently, so don't let my story completely stop you from doing that on your own if you feel that it's something that you need, or you and your therapist or you and your psychiatrist feel that it's something that you need. Feel free to take my story with a grain of salt and go with your own experience. The worst that can happen is that you can feel like shit and end up not taking the medication and then realize, well, we gotta try something else. And it sucks, I know. Well, now I know. But sometimes it's kind of worth it if it means that you're finding something that improves the quality of your life. So I think for now I'm just gonna stick with the Zoloft and just do that. Maybe up the dosage on that like I had been before. Maybe that will help me with my issue with my skin and all that. It did lessen it, but I decided to try this new thing because I hadn't noticed much of a change, and I did kind of relapse a little bit to where I was at other parts of my body that I wouldn't normally pick at, so yeah, it got concerning, so I figured I might as well try it. And now I know that my body doesn't like naltrexone, so maybe I won't do it. We'll see. But yeah, there's other like mental health things that I do go through besides those things I mentioned. Well, mainly one other thing, but that's a conversation for another time. And honestly, if you can't tell from the name of my channel and the name of I go by on social media, well, I'll go into detail in case you don't know. But feel free to explain, anyone who does know, feel free to explain it to them. Yeah. So with that being said, I'll have my Pride footage of what I got, all that fun jazz, and yeah, hopefully as time goes by, I'll be back to my relative level of function that I normally am at. So, yeah. Watching this for a market, see if my friends are still around. So, we'll see. somewhere a little bit more quiet. My friend's not in the area. They moved on to Brooklyn, and I'm not feeling functional enough to go all the way over there, so I'll just hang around a little bit here more, I guess, and I don't know, figure out what to do. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to be around the not parade part of the celebration. And yeah, people are pretty good vibes, I guess, if you want to say that. People are generally in a pretty good mood. I personally am uncomfortable with police presence, but what can you do? Yeah. Let's see what the rest of the day holds. I mean, I do feel bad because I wanted to meet up with my friends to do the potluck thing. I wanted to meet up, but I was just feeling disgusting and was like not able to leave the house. But now that I can leave the house, I come around here and I feel kind of shitty, but I really was like about to puke or something when I texted them. It's like, oh no, I'm hoping that being here right now doesn't make me a dick. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I really wanted to. But last minute shit. Bleh. Also, I didn't, with the body painting guy, there was a lady, at least I think it was a lady, that they were painting, but I didn't want to record that unless I got their consent, so I hopefully got the Instagram in it as well, so you can check all that out. That'd be really cool. Also, this helps me avoid censoring for YouTube, so So, yeah, just chilling out. Hail hydrate. Oh no, I hit record by accident. Ah! Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you liked it, my name is Laura, and I am Dad Aspie. If you didn't like this, I'm Crank Gameplays, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!